Hi, this is Paranormal Encounters, and I'm your host, Brenda McGee. Today I have a return guest. It's Karmle Conrad, since she was so great the last time. Karmle, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy coming over.
Well, I want you to do, even though you were here before, I would love for you to tell us about yourself.
I live in Sandwich, been there for a long, long time. I am Native American, Potawatomi from South Central Michigan. All the women on my mother's side of the family are descendants of the tribe. And my gifts as a shaman medicine woman and a psychic medium and an empath and all the other things I do are from my ancestors. My great-grandmother was the last shaman medicine woman in our lineage, and she started teaching me when I was 6 years young about our culture and about our tribe and about the sacred ways of the shaman. So for 7 years, I learned many, many things from her. I finished my shamanic training in my 40s with a Lakota shaman on the Cape for 2 years, and been solo for quite a while.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. I mean, I never stop learning.
And if someone wanted to make an appointment with you, or how can they get in touch with you?
They can go to thecapecodpsychic.com on the internet, or you can put in Cape Cod Psychic and I come up first, is from what I told. And you can send me an email right through my Contact Us page.
Okay, great. So, what about this craziness that's going on? It's October.
Oh, yes, it is. And contrary to popular belief, everyone, the candy companies created Halloween. Okay, let's just get that right out there and be done with it, you know.
That's right.
I guess it was after World War II and they needed to boost morale around here, so they created Halloween for everybody. However, it's based on an old pagan and Celtic kind of celebration. And it has to do a lot with the alignment of the planets and the changing of the seasons and such. When, for some reason, in our time that exists, because we know time doesn't exist,
right.
But in this dimension that we live in on the earth plane, the veil between the dimensions becomes very thin. And energies are able to go back and forth even more easily than they usually do. Now, we know animal spirits do whatever they want.
Right.
But those of us that have been embodied and have crossed over, now we can go back and forth. And we can visit people and see what's going on. So, of course, there's a lot of activity going on.
There sure
and the planetary alignments are pretty wild right now, too. So you've got somebody's always in retrograde and somebody's always in a trine and all these other aspects. So it's, you know,
yes.
I'm not an expert on astrology, but I can tell you stuff's going on.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And we've been getting calls.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy calls. I mean, I'm getting them every day, text messages. Paranormal activity is up. I'm sure you've been getting them also.
Oh, I see things going on. This past week I've been working, I work at home a lot. I prepare my lectures for the college I work at from home, and I will be sitting at my kitchen table and I'll see things moving around in the yard. And even though my area, my home, is very well protected, they're still out there having a good time.
Right. And that's what people say to me. How can you protect yourself so much in your home, but yet still, you know, there's spirits around? Well, you can't get, you know, just because they can't get in your home or whatever, they're all over the place, and the good ones can come in.
Absolutely.
It's just the ones, you know, that aren't so good that need to stay out.
I have a crystal grid I set up around the edges of my property. So those that are on my property are absolutely good, positive energy. And they're mischief makers. They love to have a good time. And, you know, they'll flash by the window. Some will stop until I pay attention and go, yeah, I know you're there. I'm working. Do you mind?
Right.
The dark energy, we both know we can feel it. It doesn't affect me anymore because I'm so well protected. A lot of people, I teach them how to protect themselves from the dark entities, but we know they're out there.
And what do you suggest, you know, to people how they should protect themselves?
Well, the first thing that I do, and I've been doing this a lot the last few weeks, is people are coming to me because they start seeing things in that peripheral vision, the shadows or the movement, or they're in the kitchen making coffee and something all of a sudden feels different. We call it an energy shift.
Right.
And they'll sit with me and I say, well, you know, you can connect to the other side. And most of them are like, yeah, okay. There was one lady, no, I can't. I said, I'm here to tell you, yes, you can.
Right, right.
But for those that are gifted or have heightened intuition, have a lot of hunches, I suggest that they do three things, and you only do it once, is to acknowledge the divine, to say thank you for my gifts, and say, I choose to walk in the white light. Those 8 words are important, because once you choose to walk in the white light,
Yes.
even though if you're not sure you're gifted, you don't want to be gifted, but you are, whatever the scenario, the dark energy cannot touch you again. It can't wake you up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It can't poke you while you sleep. It can't scare the daylights out of you. It does that because it knows you're gifted,
Right.
and it doesn't want you to walk in the white light.
Right.
Because the more harmony and balance on the earth plane, the better off everybody is.
Right.
And for those who are not gifted but still feel a lot of energy around, you can always surround and protect yourself in the white light in a heartbeat.
Right.
You walk out of the house, I surround and protect myself in white light. Boom, done. You know, you can say I guard myself from dark energies. You know, from mind, body, soul, dark energies. People who are empaths, yeah, that's tough, because they're going to pick up, they pick up every negative whatever going on.
Exactly.
You can be, my favorite example is in the grocery store. You're in line at the grocery store, and all of a sudden you just feel sick and really sad. Yeah, if you know you're an empath, you should have protected yourself before you left, but if you don't, guaranteed you are.
Right.
And I always tell them, before you leave home, when you get up in the morning, you say, I medically clear myself from all mind, body, soul ailments of others today. And it's very simple, and it works like a charm.
I never heard that. That's amazing.
Medically clearing yourself. It really works well. You ever try to go through an airport? Yeah. Folks, I'm telling you. For those of us that are gifted, walking through an airport can really be an experience.
I
Most
have to
of us,
zip up, make sure I zip up. And
I tell people to kind of, you know, put a cloak around yourself, a bubble of energy to protect you when you're out in crowds and stuff. And they're like, oh, is it that easy? It always is that easy. Anyone who tells you you have to do all these complicated rituals and read 5 books, and no. It's very simple, very simplistic to protect yourself.
And it's the intention you put into it.
It absolutely is. I mean, if you get up in the morning and you know you've got to, you know, talk to a whole group of people, and you say, I can't do this, I'm scared, it's not going to work, well, then it's not.
Right. Yeah.
It really is. But I love the line, fake it till you make it. For a lot, not for everything, but for a lot of things, it really does work. You put the intention out there, I will do a good, you know, I'm doing a good presentation today, everything is going fine. Not everything will go fine, but everything is going fine. And my presentation is well received, I'm all set.
Now I have to ask you, hello.
Hello. Yeah, we have spirits in the studio tonight. Yeah, we've already told them not to mess with us, but they're having a good time.
Now, I had an investigation on Friday night, and a lot of things that were happening, the spirits that were there, a lot of it was attached to old uniforms and things like that. I can't disclose the location.
That's okay.
But the funny thing is they asked to be crossed.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like they don't realize that they can cross, because one of them had said because there was something there that was preventing them from crossing. So you
we clear it.
Keep that at bay, and you clear it. But it was, so I did a crossing over prayer.
Right.
And we had the DVR systems going.
Oh,
so
good.
there was so many, orbs and things like that beforehand with the activity. Then we did the prayer, and all the activity stopped. But it's amazing lately that I've found, since the veil is so thin, that I think a lot of the spirits that chose to be earthbound are actually seeing their loved ones.
Yes.
And they don't know better because, they were told differently that
Yes.
you were going to where. But have you come across a lot of that?
I have like major goosebumps going on right now, which is a validation that there's spirits standing next to me. So they're like, just tell her. I'm like, I'm working on it, okay? When you're in spirit, you don't have to think about things. The thoughts are right there. But when you're in a body, you have to take a minute to speak. So calm down.
Right.
Yes, I've come across that quite a bit, that the energies feel that since they did not do good, or a dark energy has convinced them that they can't cross over because they were in a uniform of some sort, military or whatever, that in getting into a uniform meant they were going to kill people, so they were bad. They couldn't cross over.
Right.
And I tell them, no, that's not so. And then I hear the screams from the dark force. They don't like it when we tell the truth.
Right.
And we give them, we tell them, okay, it's okay to cross over, and we speak to the divine, and we thank their guardians and guides, and we tell them it's okay to go home.
Right.
And sometimes we feel the air move when they all leave. And it's just, and then there's this silence. Even the silent is silenced. It's an amazing, it's really hard to describe.
Right.
But when they go, it's just this calm that takes place.
It's amazing. It's just, you get this it's so emotional for me. I get really emotional because it's like they have been there for so long and they're just reliving things over and over again. And it saddens me. It really does.
It does me too.
Does.
It does. And I'll sit there and sometimes, the people around me go, you're crying. I go, oh, really? I said, well, they're home. They've gone home.
Yes.
We start as pure energy. We choose to come into the physical form, and then we go back. We go home.
Right.
And these energies have been earthbound. Whether they did it themselves and not understanding why, or something kept them here, it's very sorrowful for them.
Right. And I tell a lot of family members that have lost someone, I said, listen, it's okay to tell them that it's okay to go.
Yes.
Because once they go, and that they get processed and all, then they can come back at any time.
Oh yeah.
I said, but you have to let them know at the end, it's okay to go, because then they can come back.
Exactly.
You don't want them earthbound. You want them to cross in the light.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
I tell a lot of people whose family members are close to transitioning, did you tell them it's okay to leave? There's someone I'm thinking about right now, a woman who is, her mind is very sharp, but her body's done.
Yeah.
And she keeps fading away, then she'll come back a little bit. And I was told that her daughter hasn't told her she can go. And I said, I understand her daughter's predicament, that she needs the physical here, but maybe you can say to her daughter, what you're remembering is when your mom was in great shape and you were doing things, and she's been ill for a long time.
Right.
And offer her that it's okay to let her go. She's going to come right back. For us, it might seem like a long time. For them, it's you're there, you're back.
Right.
But we have to let them go.
It's so important.
We have to let them go, hopefully before they transition.
Well, I have another question for you, because I've been coming across this, and we know the veil is thin and all. A lot of clients that I've had, like, they have family members that have, like, dementia. Mm-hmm. They're in between.
Yeah.
They're coming, and I think that they've passed when I'm talking to the client.
Yeah.
And they're saying, but they're still alive.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
isn't that the most bizarre thing?
I'm like, am I going crazy?
No.
Or is this like really?
There are some, they call it dementia. The Western medicine world calls it dementia or a mental illness or whatever.
Right.
We can go back and forth anytime we want. And those that are older, all of a sudden they figure out how to do it.
Right.
So they go and they come back and they leave and they come back and they keep crossing back and forth. And their families think they're demented, that they're crazy.
Yeah.
Because they keep saying, Uncle Harry said, and Uncle Harry's been gone for 20 years. I'm telling you, Uncle Harry was here last night and he said, I got to get the fishing pole out. Okay, Uncle Joe, it's all right. But he really did go.
Right.
His body's alive, and we can leave our bodies for a little while, and then they bring us back.
Right.
And I pick up on that too. It's absolutely amazing. It freaks me out every time, because I'll say to people on the other side, listen, you're not over there yet. And if I tell this person that I'm talking to their dad, they're going to think their dad just died, and I have to make sure they know their dad didn't just die. But we can speak to living, breathing people as well.
Right.
To their energies.
Yeah.
Especially those that are gifted. And they may be near end life, but they know how to send their energy out.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I don't know. I learn something new all the time.
Oh, just when I think I got a handle on it, those guys, the other side say, oh yeah, now here's a new switch.
Well, that's another reason why I do this show, is so other people can see what other people think, and they're probably going through the same thing and they don't know what to do about it, and here we are.
I have such a wonderful time, and I feel so, I don't know what the word is, blessed, gifted, lucky, when people come to me and say, look, if I told my husband that I keep seeing his mother at the coffee counter every morning, he's going to think I lost it because she died 2 years ago. Right. And these people that come to me, they have to acknowledge to somebody that they see spirit.
Right.
Or that they feel spirit, or they know something's different. Because they feel if they tell their partners or their family, they're going to lock them up somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
So they come to me and we talk, and I'm able to tell them, no, it's okay. I guess I'm able to validate for them that what they're feeling and what they're sensing is real. It's because we are only one form in the physical. We are an energy form as well. So when someone transitions, I don't say die. The physical body ends.
Exactly.
And the spirit lifts and transitions. I have been so blessed to be able to see spirit lift out of some of my patients in the past. When I've been with them, when they've transitioned, you actually see their spirit come up out of the body. And they kind of look around and wave, and then they're gone. And it's like, I'll be back.
That's
it's amazing. But they really, the way they portray it on the movies and stuff is really what it looks like.
Yeah, some you can believe on TV, and some, they kind of,
But, you just kind of lift out like a smoky, gray, whitish thing.
Right.
That's exactly what it looks like. And an energy wave, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
But for people who are new to this, they think they're losing their minds.
I can see why.
Well, yeah, I can see why, because I've been doing this.
But a lot of, I was talking to this person today, and she's all of a sudden seeing things, experiencing things, and I was telling her, we're all being heightened, so anyone who has gifts or whatever is experiencing a whole lot more. I said, remember, you can always shut it down if you don't think you can handle it.
Right.
I said, but because you don't have to live in fear. I said, because that's the worst thing you can do is be afraid of it. So I helped her to understand it, and she seemed a lot more comfortable with it. But, I always tell people, you have a choice. Even,
you absolutely do.
Even with the children, I say, sometimes they're too young and you need to shut it down.
Yeah.
So they can cope instead of being on medication because doctors don't understand what they're talking about.
Exactly. I was speaking with someone just a few days ago, and she was saying that a few years ago, she knew she was gifted, and she kept telling her family, hey, I'm talking to so-and-so, and they're doing this and doing that, and her family was like, Auntie Jane's nuts. She's gone crazy. Yeah. And she's like, no, this is a real way of life. It's not just what we can see, but there's spirits or ghosts or energies all around us. And they just were telling her she was crazy, so she checks herself into a place for a couple days for observation. And when she met with a psychiatrist afterwards, when she was leaving, he was from India. And he said, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. In my country, the women are the superior, and a lot of them are connected to the other side. You're normal. In my village, you'd be a queen.
Wow.
He said, this is just in North America.
Right.
They kind of see it as being crazy. In my village, you're normal. He said, so as far as I'm concerned, you have nothing wrong with you. And she goes, oh, thank you. And she went home.
I wish there was more doctors like that.
Oh, so do I.
Now, I want to talk about your book.
The book is doing very well, Safe in Crabapple Creek. Paranormal every day, good ETs, bad ETs. We have to have that balance.
Yep.
The U.S. Marshals take a woman into witness protection, and she's gifted. She hasn't let anybody know, really. They settle her northwest of Boone, North Carolina, in a place called Crabapple Creek. And I'm sorry if you've been looking for it, okay? Because all the roads and all the landmarks lead to it.
Right.
But it's not there yet. I'm hoping to have a sign made that says this is where the fictitious Crabapple Creek would be.
How neat would that be?
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
And, she gets settled, all kinds of stuff happens, and the Dell of Crabapple Creek is very special. It's real, but it's very special there. We all know, and if you don't, you're about to learn, that the Appalachian Mountains are the oldest mountain range on the earth. And they hold magic. This is where magic lives.
Yeah.
And it goes all around the planet, inside and out, from the Appalachians. This is the home of magic. So that's why Crabapple Creek is there. The second in the series, Return to Crabapple Creek, will be finished next week. I hope to have it to the publisher in the next 30 days so they can start processing.
So exciting.
And the third one's already started, the other Crabapple Creek.
Wow.
So we'll see if we can't get things moving along here as quick as possible.
And how can they purchase your book?
You can go right on my website. You can purchase it from me directly, and I will sign it for you and send it out to you. If you like the digital versions, it's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble for Kindle or Nook, and you can get, the digital version and download it, or you can order the book from them, but then it doesn't get signed.
Now, what inspired you to do that?
This is so much fun. I was working in Boston for about 3 years, teaching. I was a college administrator. And on Friday nights, I would get home, and yeah, it's a long ride from the Cape to Boston. Thank God for the commuter buses.
Yeah.
And I was reading a book by a well-known author who used to put a lot of paranormal in her books. But the last 10 years, she hasn't put a lot of paranormal. But she has some great romance in it. It was pretty good. It was about 2 a.m, and I finished it, and I flopped it down on the floor. Now, when you're gifted like you and I are, and many other people, you got to be careful what you say.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So I dropped it on the floor, and without even thinking for a moment, I thought, well, that was pretty good, but there needs to be more. There needs to be more storylines, more in-depth, more stuff going on, better romance, just a lot more. In the instant I said that, I swear there must have been 500 spirits in my room that said, write your own book then. Nah. I said, I don't hear you. For quite a long time, I tried not to hear them, and they wouldn't leave me alone. So I finally turned on the light, went and grabbed a legal pad, sat up in bed, and in an hour and a half outlined the 15-book anthology called Crabapple Creek.
Wow.
There are 5 3-book series. All the 5 series are outlined. And the last pages of the last book are already written.
Wow. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
Divinely guided.
Yes, it was. And so I'm writing this down. I'm getting the characters created. I said, okay, can I go to sleep now? And they went, yeah, you're all set now.
That's too funny.
So I did. I went to sleep, and it's been on a roll ever since. It was about 3 years ago.
That's amazing.
It was released last December, and it went international in January.
Good for you. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Hopefully it'll keep going.
Oh, it does.
I'm sure.
It'll be quiet for a week or so, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, oh, we want your book, we want your book. And I get orders, and I sign them and mail them out, and people say, oh, I read your book. So.
Well, a lot of people have said, oh, you should write a book about your paranormal experiences.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm not guided to do that yet.
Nah, when you're supposed to, you will.
That's what I said. I said, or, I don't know. This is good for me right now.
It's enough.
It's good. It's good.
I have 2 other series I'm working on. I'm working on one for kids, 12 years and older. It's called The Treehouse Gang Mysteries. And it's kind of based on the old Nancy Drew Hardy Boys
I love
setup.
that.
But it's all current day. So, of course, there's cell phones and texts and tweets and, electronics. And their treehouse, of course, is all wired. It's wireless. It's all wired for sound. And they are, the first book is called The Mystery of the Shimmering Sands. They are in a town called Eagle Cove, or Eagle Bay, up around Chatham, Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And they're just getting out of 8th grade and 9th grade. And they're 2 families. One family has a set of twins, and one has a brother and sister, and they've been hanging around forever. And their parents built a tree house between the 2 properties for them.
That's exciting. See, I go into the young adults. That's the books I like, with the vampires and the
Well, we got all kinds of
werewolves
things
and all that
happening in
kind
there.
of stuff.
The 3rd series is a psychic detective collection, and it's a much lighter kind of series. If you remember Monk when it was out years ago,
yes.
It's kind of like that, murder mystery with a lot of funny stuff going on. And the first in that series, called What the Dead Man Told Me, is already, well on its way.
You are a busy woman.
Now, if I didn't have to teach, which I absolutely love to do, I could just write all day.
You would be writing.
But I love being a professor.
But that's what everybody loves. I mean, that's amazing.
So there's all kinds of books out there waiting to be written.
Yes, there is, and you're writing pretty much.
I'm working on it. I am.
Well, every time your book gets done, you need to come back every time.
Oh, I will. I'll come back whenever you want me.
So now, we are running out of time, but what would you advise to people to get through this veil being thin and, just rock with it, lean with it?
Yeah, kind of go with it. If you get frightened or you're not too sure what's going on, just say, white light surround and protect me. For those that are newly gifted or just can't take all the energy, we decide when we connect with the other side. It's not the other way around. A lot of people don't understand that.
Right.
You say, you know what, not today.
Exactly.
And they're absolutely hilarious on the other side. And the love that they send that I pick up on, and the word love doesn't even begin to describe it, is amazing. I feel very honored and blessed and very humble when I sit and read for people, because I get to feel the love that goes for them from others. And I channel, and sometimes I'm able to give messages in the voice of whoever, they need to speak with.
amazing.
But they are absolutely hilarious, no doubt. But if it's just getting to be too much or you're not sure what's going on, just say, stop. And they will.
Yes, that's what I said.
They will absolutely stop. If this time with the veil being very thin has really got you scared, just say, no, I'm not doing anything. I don't want my gift right now. I'm putting it on hold. And, come see somebody who can help you out, and then pick up, around the middle of November when things quiet down. They don't quiet down on November 1st.
That's what I...
It's around the middle of November when things kind of...
Exactly. And sometimes it continues through November. Oh, yeah. You don't know.
Because time doesn't exist, folks.
Exactly.
You have to remember, for us, we are given the concept of time to mark our progress and our learning here in the human condition. But it doesn't exist.
Right.
So now that I've really messed up your minds...
Not really.
So then they say there's no past and no present. Mm-hmm. No, everything happens at the same time. We have multiple dimensions that are existing throughout the universes.
Right.
We kind of go from one to the other as needed.
And again, tell me how we can get in touch with you.
You can go to www.thecapecodspsychic.com.
And the services you offer.
I do readings for people. I will be your mentor as you walk into gifts. I do life coaching, and I do some grief counseling.
And you do shamanic drumming.
And I do shamanic drumming all the time. We're doing a drumming this Sunday at the First Spiritualist Church of Rhode Island on the guest medium at 10 o'clock. And after the service, around 12:30, we're having a shamanic healing circle. I'm doing a healing fire inside without the flames. But we're doing a very special shamanic healing circle. After, everybody's welcome, whether you have a drum or not.
Yep. Well, Karmle, thank you so much for coming again. I truly appreciate it. Hope you'll come back.
I absolutely will.
And if anyone out there has any questions, you can reach me at paranormalencounterstv9@gmail.com. And thanks for watching.